You're listening to the Radcast, a top 25 worldwide business podcast. If it's radical, we cover it. Here's your host, Ryan Alford.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to your first Radcast of November 2023. It's November 3rd, our weekly marketing and business news of the week. I'm joined by my friend, my business partner, my co-host, Chris Hansen. What's up, Chris?
How you doing today, man?
Hey, it's rocking and rolling, baby.
Got a successful Halloween?
Hey, yes, it was successful. I had 2 bucketfuls for Nash. Nash took the crown, even with a busted hand. He filled up 2 bucketfuls, and he proceeded to categorize his candy when he got home. And he's like his mother. He's very organized for a 7.5-year-old. And so he put all of his candy into piles, the chocolate-based, the gummy-based, the hard candy. It was completely organized. And I went in there and I said, which ones did Daddy get? He said, Daddy, I like them all, baby.
He's like, zilch, brother.
He's like, none.
See your way out.
He's like, unfortunately, Daddy, this year, I think I got everything that I like. And I'm like, you son of a...
That's so funny.
You know, like, I got nothing. And then I proceeded to one of my older sons, Hogan. I snuck a couple out of his while he was in the shower. But it was successful. We had 2 Spider-Mans. Nash was a hot dog. And Clayton was an escaped prisoner.
Love it.
Hopefully, the only time he's going to be wearing that orange jumpsuit.
I bet so.
Yeah. And if you knew Clayton, like, of all my sons, like, literally, like, the best kid, like, the least likely of any of them to ever get in that kind of trouble. And
that's funny.
Yeah. So it was good. It was successful and a good Halloween week. Lots of candy laying around. I'm going to be having to fight it off. Or I just lean into it. You know, it's one or the other.
I say lean in. We're in that season, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The speaking of seasons, it's the Joe Rogan, Elon Musk season this week.
Yeah.
For those of you who didn't see, got a couple things on Elon this week, but he was on the Joe Rogan podcast and doing his best of the woke tales, which I can get behind. I think he's right more than he is wrong. I'll say that.
Right.
Is a little crazy. He gets a little, he throws money around and says things that might impact my bottom line maybe a little faster than I would have. But maybe once you get that much money, you don't care, which he clearly doesn't. And Joe asked him about the valuation of Twitter. You know, he bought it for like $44 billion and now it's worth about half that. And he said, basically he was, his concern was over the corrosive effects on civilization and its spread of the woke mind virus.
The way he words things is so eloquent.
Yes. He's a true ad guy, I guess, with the way he phrases things in headlines. But he critiqued the way COVID, the ventilation treatments, and like all this other stuff. And then they said that they were shooting arrows at his Cybertruck in the parking lot. A bet that Musk won or something.
So he's made electric armor-plated vehicles now.
Yes, exactly. Have you seen those things?
Yeah, they're gnarly. It looks straight from the future.
Do they drive? Are they around in Miami anywhere?
I think may have seen one. I want to say like in Houston, to be honest with you. I don't even know. Are they available to the public?
I don't know. I heard there were a few in the wild, but I don't know that they're like commercially available. So I figured if there was anywhere you'd see them, it'd be Miami.
I'm surprised I haven't seen more, honestly.
Yeah. But much like Musk seems to be starting to be a regular on Rogan every now and then, and I'm sure Rogan doesn't mind. It jacks the ratings, kind of like
Huge.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing like Aaron Rodgers, his Tuesday spiel on McAfee show, which we'll stay down that line. McAfee had Aaron Rodgers on this week, and Aaron went dressed up as like a molecule or something from COVID for Halloween, and they were talking about that whole segment, and it was on ESPN, and it blanked out, supposedly just accidentally.
Isn't it funny how that happens?
Yeah, free speech.
The stream just cuts out.
Just happen to cut out when ESPN knows like how many sponsors they have that are, gonna get
not a
pissed
fan
off.
of what Rodgers is.
Not a fan at all. I don't know where they're going to go with all that shit. It's once you get Pat McAfee on your show, I don't know what they expected to happen. And Aaron Rodgers is coming on every week.
Right. Like, did you think this would be a controlled environment?
Exactly. It wasn't just going to be some F-bombs and shits and cursing. Pat's going to head down a few avenues, especially if Aaron Rodgers and whoever else is on. So he's going to have to either give it up or I think, who knows? It's hard to know whether it was truly a mishap or not, but it seems fucking coincidental as shit,
It was very suspect.
Exactly. And so it's like free speech or not. It's hard to say. In other news, I thought this was pretty interesting, and I think this is where you're going to start to see things going. I worked on wireless a lot with Verizon back in the day, and they have these things they're called MVNOs, which, for in other words, these are like these sub carriers that roll off of the Verizon, the AT&Ts. They work off of the same networks. Some of the agreements, so that you don't have antitrust laws with wireless networks, is they have to allow other sub carriers to use their networks and to lease their networks. And I'm simplifying a fairly complex business thing, but they call them MVNOs. But they're going to start having, and there's already one that's called Text Now, that's allowing free service, free phone, free service to the younger audience, because essentially what you're buying is ads are free flowing on the phone at all times.
Right.
So again, it's no different than like, I guess if you think about like some of the streaming networks that were free or have ad supported. Right. So it makes sense because think about it. A cell phone service, $50 for a single line or whatever. Mm-hmm. And if you serve unlimited ads across these and what people are paying for ads now, you can understand why it starts to add up. There's plenty of margin there to give away $50 a month to a captive audience. Yeah. And so there's this article on Ad Age about Text Now, and I'll read a couple of the highlights. Text Now is capitalizing on Gen Z's mobile usage by offering a unique ad-supported free phone service. Right now, they've already attracted over 10 million users in the U.S. It offers a platform for brands to reach the digitally native and diverse generation who prefer experiences over possessions and value inclusivity and diversity. So they got to throw in like every stereotype for that generation. That has nothing to do with this article. Gen Z, making up 40% of global consumers, is cautious about sharing personal information, but is open to engaging with creative and non-intrusive ads. I have a hard time believing that's what they're getting in this experience. But TextNow's model challenges traditional mobile services, offering cost-effective solutions and strategic advertising opportunities, and collaborates with major carriers for expansive coverage. Their ad strategy includes tailored, integrated user experiences, providing value both to consumers and brands looking to connect with young audiences. Interesting. And, I don't know how much I believe that, how intrusive they are. But I will say this. It's an interesting strategy when you think about businesses that when you have like these other monetization channels and what you choose to give away versus what you monetize. Because sometimes you can give away a portion of what you do as a business because you monetize at a higher level across different things. So in this case, they can subsidize the cost of the phone and the service because they get enough ad agreements for the number of users that they have. And so I would think it's a scale thing. I'm not sure how they made this work when they only had 500 users, but now they got 10 million, it becomes scale.
Right.
And it's no different than a little bit like you talk about, and I've had people on the show this week talking a lot about like online coaching and everything. They're talking about like, well, I give away all the advice, but then the like execution and doing it for you, the service is then the cost, right? So like for us as an ad agency, like, and I kind of deploy this sometimes. Like, I mean, I get away. I don't hold back any of my recommendations, like as far as like my learnings in marketing. But if you want to execute it for your business, if you want to get it done, you got to pay us to do it. And so I think there's a lot of instances of this in business where if you think about the service that you could provide and the knowledge that you have, because a lot of people get real, I got my secrets. I've got all this stuff, but knowledge has gotten cheap. It's really the execution that still takes the getting things done and making it happen and where you see the difference. And
I can have the knowledge all day, but if I don't have the strategy to execute, then it's useless.
Implementation.
Yeah.
It's related a little bit, I think, to this on a different level, but I do think it's interesting because if I'm trying to reach this, I would be researching this channel as a way to hit this target, most certainly. And it will be interesting watching kind of the wireless landscape if this starts to hit a bigger dent. There's going to be more and more of this, right? And because it certainly had a big play on streaming video and all those things, right?
Yeah.
Now it's funny. They've all kind of gone backwards. Like, things that were free now cost money. And all these platforms now have ad supported. Disney has ad supported. Netflix has ad supported. Hulu. Yeah. So we will see. I just think it gets a little slippery slope when you start giving away devices and things like that. But I don't know. I just have a hard time. Are they really giving away iPhones? As a consumer,
it's like, all right, they're going to hit me with ads, but like, is it going to be before I want to make a phone call? I've got to watch a 15-second clip, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe.
Is it going to slow down my daily phone usage is my kind of question.
Well, here it says, Chris, it says it's non-intrusive. So,
well, in that case,
I think what you're describing is intrusive. But you know what? Yeah. The first example of this was back when Amazon came out with tablets. They were cheap as shit. They were like $40 for an Amazon tablet. But it had all of their stuff built into it. The movies, the videos, the program, shopping, everything was pre-installed. You couldn't customize it. And so you had that experience. Ads were baked in. There's different things. And it was easy to shop on those things, of course. So they did this 5-8 years ago when they first came out with tablets and devices. And I think it has cooled off because I know I bought, they had the kids version of the tablets that had like the bumpers on it and everything. At the time, like my Clayton and Hudson, who were my oldest, they were like 3 and 5. And I think we bought those things for them because, they'd like kick it down the hall and it stay together. But the reason we got rid of them, eventually moved to iPad, is because the experience was so ad heavy. It was just like, okay, again, trying to get the content or do what you want to do, you're just like kind of bombarded with shit.
Yeah.
There's like this fine line of ads versus branded content versus user experience. So we'll see where this goes. If all cell phones become free, as long as you're willing to watch unlimited ads.
As long as you're willing to get targeted.
Yeah. But the only ad that would be okay would be, Caldera Lab, because, they provide a service, Chris. I need to look good for these podcasts. They send me a hat. They know I'm a hat guy. So I get the Caldera hat going on. I've got all the good stuff, including the good, my favorite. This is you get lotioned up and you're like, okay, I'm done. Nope. You got to get the serum, baby. It makes you feel good, makes you look good. It gets rid of these fine lines. I wake up the next morning, and if my wife wasn't already gone, she'd be like, ooh.
You're like, oh my gosh, you look so handsome.
On Saturdays, though, she reminds me,
Hey, at least you get 1 day a week.
Exactly. 1 day a week. But
I'm excited. My Caldera Labs arrived yesterday, so I got to go scoop that.
Oh,
today.
yeah. You got to go get that. You got to get face washed and then
do a little before and after pick.
Yes, exactly. And my before and afters are on the show. You go watch the show 6 months ago, before Caldera Lab and after Caldera Lab, and you'll see the difference. But loving all their products. I really love, actually, and look, I only talk about what works. You guys may go, oh, this is just an ad. He's talking about it. But look, if it didn't work, I wouldn't talk about it. The bath bar, let me tell you, it's the best soap I've ever used. You buy the grocery store stuff. I've always been like, okay, whatever. It's a bath bar. It's a bar of soap, right? I didn't know what suds were until the Caldera bath bar. I'm talking explosion of soap suds. I'm like, whoa, this is what it's supposed to feel like, I guess. My traditional store-bought stuff is out the door. So
you've been denying yourself luxury, Ryan. It's like what we talked about yesterday. Most men get a bar of Irish Spring and they're like, here's my body wash, face wash, shampoo.
Yes. No more. I can't go backwards, Chris. So go to CalderaLab.com.
You've had a taste of the good.
Once you go good, you don't go back. So CalderaLab.com, use Rad Ryan. You'll get 20% off. You'll thank me for it because it works. And then you might curse me because you're like, I can't go back, man. This stuff's too good. Mm-hmm. So, yes, give them some love. The official skincare provider of the Radcast from Ryan Elford. CalderaLab.com. Rad Ryan. Yes, I did like this, Chris. I am a Philly cheesesteak guy. To be honest, if you
love them.
I'm kind of any kind of food guy, just about, but I do love Philly cheesesteaks. And this probably I remember growing up as a kid having Steak-umms. My mom would make those at home, and it didn't quite taste as good as the Philly cheesesteak at a restaurant, but it was the closest thing. It was pretty tasty. I didn't even know Steak-umms was still around because I just don't make Steak-umms at home. But they've got a new campaign out, and it's pretty funny. So Steak-umm has turned real vegans into meat lovers to demonstrate the dangers of deep fake technology. And it's a new campaign called Deep Steaks. Using deep fake technology to illustrate its potential dangers, real vegans were filmed eating what they were told was a vegan cheesesteak, but were then shown deep fakes of themselves appearing as meat lovers. This initiative aims to raise awareness about the risks of deep fakes, demonstrating that anyone could be a victim of this deceptive tech. Campaign also encourages the public to learn about deep fakes and supports legislation for accountability on their use. Steak-umm's, known for its stance against misinformation, continues to build on its reputation as an advocate for media literacy. I thought this was really interesting, but for one, it's really clever. Deep
Very
steaks.
intriguing.
But it's obviously a key issue. And I think from a brand standpoint, it's interesting that Steak-umm's, which has nothing to do with digital
media,
literacy and media and all that, but they're building kind of this fandom and this being known around something that brings equity to the brand, and people that are going to be brand lovers and I guess in theory buy more Steak-umm's. because of they're standing up for consumer rights. And I think as brands try to think about ways to be less, they can be clever, but maybe less hard hitting from just buy our shit, like all that, and being salesy. I think this is something you can learn from the way that they're tying their brand to something like completely different. And so pretty interesting. This was
interesting. They're educating people, but nothing to do with steak.
Yes. But they were clever enough to tie it into deepfakes. So they make it fun and interesting.
It's a hot topic right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's really a curveball, but I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Maybe we need to do like a steak-ay instead of a vacay. Like a deep fake of.
We got to do something with it.
Yeah. What can we learn on this? Deep fake, steak-ay, vacay. Like you're actually really on an island somewhere and you call it a steak-ay. I don't know. What to think.
I like that. We gotta brainstorm on that.
Other marketing news, Best Buy. I've always thought that live streaming had a place for shopping. Because I've watched my mom, certain in-laws, the QVC effect was real back in the day. And it's still real for Sheila Beasley, which is Nicole's mom. She is one of my favorite people in the world. And she's only but she actually still buys stuff at cases on QVC. And I love it. I love consumers of all type.
Yeah.
And she's amazing. But it proves that, and I'm like, there's like communities that still, tons of people that still buy and shop through that live experience. And so Best Buy is live streaming their holiday sales events for the first time this year. This article comes to us via the StarTribune.com. Didn't you know they still were around, but they are. Best Buy is venturing into live commerce by hosting its first shopping event on Talk Shop Live. Scheduled for November 8th and 15th, this event will feature virtual sales experts from Best Buy's virtual store demonstrating holiday gifts in categories like beauty, wellness, e-transportation, outdoor living. Viewers can interact, ask questions, and make purchases during the live broadcast where exclusive promotions and prizes will be offered. So I like this. I think
Me too.
I think that people, and especially seasonally, I don't think people necessarily, the masses will do this all the time. But for seasonal things like this, where you need a bit of education and you need some ideas for gifting and things like that, I think it makes a ton of sense. And I think it'll be interesting how they judge success of the campaign. But I still think there's a place for this kind of stuff. And I know in like Asia and other markets, it's been huge. And in the US, it's been sort of lukewarm. But I still think there's room for more retailers to kind of bring this on in the right ways. So, there you have it. If you're selling retail, set you up a live streaming store. I mean, you can still do it like on freaking Facebook or Instagram. So implementation is not that difficult. And I don't think people expect like you to have a stage like QVC. I mean, it can be done. No. It can be done fairly rudimentary.
I've seen small local, I don't want to say local, but small online businesses. Like guys that I follow, they go live like once a week, whether they have a shop or not, and just kind of explaining some of their inventory or product education, whatever. I mean, it's essentially what we're doing with influencers. Like all these influencers are kind of live stream selling you. Like, why not just the company itself be doing it? Why not one of the guys from the Geek Squad technically explaining to me why this TV or computer, whatever, might be better for my dad for Christmas or something. I think
especially when you have a product that needs education,
right?
That needs explanation of what it is, benefits, what it isn't,
Yeah.
so that you're part of, educating and explaining, because let's face it, when you have ads and you have different things, it's hard to get into every explanation that would make sense. And in these platforms, you have the ability to also field comments. And so that's
what I was just going to say. You can live interact.
Exactly. So you can ask the questions in real time. And it's sort of like scheduled live chat on top of, having a video component of streaming. Because, live chat, it's usually, okay, I have an issue with a product that I already have, or those kind of things. But sometimes it's just getting someone, no different, like you go into a website and you have like live chat with someone. But in this instance, you're seeing and interacting with the live person that's there. And so I just think there's a ton of, I don't think we've completely tapped into what this could be for the e-com market in the U.S.
I agree.
So there you go. If you're out there, you need to get you some live, and you're selling on e-com, think about live stream shopping this season. Yeah, you may have heard about it every season and all that, but I'd be testing it at the very least. I mean, set up shop in the back of your building or your facility, no matter how big you are. Get your most like outgoing guy or girl from your team. Get back there and talk it up. I'm saying,
let them do what they do.
Yeah, from furniture to supplements.
Yeah,
just be jumping on that couch, showing how soft it is. Finally, back to Elon Musk. He says he wants users to find love on X. So it's kind of interesting.
Interesting. He's making this like the one-stop shop platform for everything. I mean, I know it's his goal.
Oh yeah, it is. Elon Musk aims to transform X, formerly Twitter, in parentheses, into an everything app, competing with YouTube, LinkedIn, FaceTime, and banking apps. And now he's hinting at integrating a dating feature, suggesting that user posts could serve as indicators for both hiring and romantic compatibility. Oh,
interesting.
Yes.
Blended Tinder and LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly. X dating. It does raise the eyebrows a bit, but all things to all people. We'll see.
I mean, doesn't he have like 5 kids from like 3 different baby mamas?
Something like that. Maybe he's just wanting to open up his other opportunities.
I mean, I don't expect anything about that man to be traditional anyway. He's a different breed.
Yeah. I did want to mention this, so maybe that wasn't the last one. This is someone I actually really admire and I actually talked about her in my email newsletter, which, by the way, if you go to ryanalford.com/newsletter, join I give daily advice, folks. You come on here, you hear us count down the news, but I do give daily advice on personal branding, marketing, and all that. ryanalford.com/newsletter. It's free every day in your inbox. Marketing tips, personal branding ideas, and all kinds of stuff. So give that a free subscribe. You subscribe, it's free. It comes in the inbox daily. Good tips. We spend a lot of time doing that. I think it will provide a lot of value. So give that a shout out at ryanalford.com/newsletter. And, but Cracker Barrel, I talked about Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is someone that I admire a lot because of how she's 77 years old and she's reinvented herself about 1,000 times and is successful as shit. And like, let's be honest.
She's awesome.
Like, if you really break down, I really tell you, if you want to go like watch some of the specials and like some of the background on her, what she's done and overcome, like literally she had like 11 brothers and sisters and like some of the struggles, everything, but yet but how put together she stayed, how many businesses she started, like how successful she's been from music to theme parks. But Cracker Barrel is ushering in Dolly Parton's Rockstar era to promote rewards. And she's got a new album out called Rockstar. So she remakes all these classics. I listened to it the other day. It's jam up.
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel Old Country Store has teamed up with Dolly Parton for its new rewards program promotion. Members of the program have the opportunity to win one of 667 rocking chairs designed with help from Parton from now until December 4th, coinciding with the release of her latest album, Rockstar. Cracker Barrel's online shop offers Dolly-themed decor and other merchandise, including copies of the album. Also appears in a promotional spot for the rewards program featuring a teaser of a track from Rockstar to be released on November 17th. I think smart for Cracker Barrel to align. We call it influencer marketing. Spokesperson is the old school term. There's still power in spokesperson marketing, and especially old Dolly, and that seems like the right audience. But at the same time,
100%.
But she's universal, man. Dude, I'm telling you, like, you got to go.
Who cannot like Dolly Parton? You got to respect a woman.
Yes.
You know, like, she's always positive. To be in the game that long and really, at least to my knowledge, I don't know any crazy gossip drama that she was ever really in the middle of in her whole career. Not that I've followed her career heavily, but
yeah,
she always just seems like a bright, happy, positive person.
She is. And smart as hell.
Yeah.
and uber talented too.
And I'll say, like, dude, she still looks great.
Looks great.
Like,
fabulous. Like,
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
She looks damn good.
Yeah. Damn good at 77. And putting out an album called Rockstar. That sounds right, because she is a rock star.
Hell yeah.
So here's the Dolly. Chris, I think that's all we got this week, brother.
It's pretty good news segment. Covered a lot.
We cover the gamut here. You know where to find us. TheRadcast.com. If it's radical, we cover it. That's why you're here. Thanks for making us number one in marketing and business on Apple. For Chris Hansen in Miami, I'm Ryan Alford from the studio in Vegas. We'll see you next time on the Radcast.
To listen or watch full episodes, visit us on the web at theradcast.com or follow us on social media at our Instagram account, the.rad.cast, or at Ryan Alford. Stay radical.